The first-person shooter genre is one of the most popular genres in video games today, with franchises like Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, and Borderlands. FPSs have evolved over time, and today we're looking at some of the earliest first-person shooters to hit the gaming industry. Some are very influential, while others, not so much. But they all have their place in history. From Doom to Isle of the Dead, I'm showcasing the groundwork for the genre today. But before we get into this list, make sure you hit that sub button to watch more video game countdowns on this channel. And now I ask, can I play, Daddy?
Eva, bitte then.
Let's start with my favorite first-person shooter on this list, and one of the most influential. Wolfenstein 3D was released on the DOS in 1992 and was inspired by the 1981 computer game Castle Wolfenstein. Widely considered as one of the greatest first-person shooters ever made, it helped launch the careers of John Carmack and John Romero. In Wolfenstein 3D, the player must navigate through levels to find the elevator to reach the next floor. There are plenty of secrets, treasure, and different weapons to find, all while blasting through tons of Nazis. Wolfenstein 3D is broken up into episodes, and near the end of each is a boss. One of the most iconic bosses in video game history is Mecha Hitler and the awesome gore that comes with defeating him. Wolfenstein 3D is a must-play, in my opinion. While Wolfenstein 3D was released on personal computers in 1992, Gunbuster was released in arcades the same year. Most shooters at the time were rail shooters, but Gunbuster was one of the first examples of a free-roaming FPS in the arcades. Players used a joystick and a light gun to control the character, but a second player could be added at any time during the playthrough. Gunbuster even featured a deathmatch mode between two players that predated Doom's competitive multiplayer mode. Gunbuster takes place in the year 2169, where cyborg crime has been on the rise, and it's up to the player to take down the cyborg criminals. Released in 1993 for the MS-DOS, Ken's Labyrinth was programmed by Ken Silverman and consisted of 3 episodes released through shareware. Ken's Labyrinth is most notable for the interactive sprites and textures, like slot and vending machines that were almost unheard of at the time. The final version of Ken's Labyrinth features 30 levels and the ability to purchase new items through the vending machines. The plot of Ken's Labyrinth revolves around an alien race that wants entertainment, so it takes species from across the universe and places them in a labyrinth to battle it out. You wake up in the labyrinth and need to search for your dog Sparky before taking on the evil alien race. Ouch! The same company that is behind the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Starfield was still making video games in the early 90s. Terminator Rampage was developed and published by Bethesda Softworks in 1993 on DOS. Based on the Terminator film series, the Terminator Rampage consists of grid-based 3D maze levels where players explore, searching for the stairs to the next level to ultimately destroy a Skynet computer core. Throughout the game, players must search for pieces of a plasma gun that is the only weapon capable of defeating the final boss in the game. Bethesda isn't the only well-known developer on this list. Bungie, the same company that developed Halo and Destiny, created Pathways in Darkness in 1993 for the Mac. Players assume the role of a Special Forces soldier who must stop a powerful, godlike being from awakening and destroying the world. The game mixes first-person shooter action and some adventure elements. The player can use items that they've acquired throughout the game to solve small puzzles or unlock deeper levels of the pyramid. Depending on the player's actions, there are even multiple endings for pathways into darkness. Released in 1993 exclusively for the 3DO, Escape from the Monster Manor lets players explore a haunted mansion in a 3D environment. The object of this game is to escape the manor by collecting pieces of a sacred talisman in each stage and surviving 12 levels to escape. Along the way, players must defeat spiders, ghosts, and other monsters to escape. To help the player, there is a map menu that lists where the talisman is on the map, but it's up to the player to figure out how to get there. Using the Wolfenstein 3D engine, Blake Stone: Aliens of Gold was released in 1993 for the DOS, with registered versions of the game even being shipped out with a comic book. The game consists of 6 episodes and 11 levels. Set in the year 2140, the player controls Blake Stone, a highly successful British agent who is on the case of Dr. Pyrrhus Goldfire. Dr. Goldfire plans to enslave Earth using his army of trained aliens. One of the best improvements from Wolfenstein 3D was an auto map feature that was implemented after the developers heard complaints about players getting lost in the 3D mazes. Well, of course, I had to include one of the most influential first-person shooters on this list. Developed and published by ID Software in 1993, Doom was released on the MS-DOS. Playing as the Dooms Guy, players must navigate through levels based in Mars and Hell, slaying hordes of demons. The player can find a variety of weapons, including a chainsaw, plasma rifle, and of course, the BFG 9000. Doom would go on to become one of the most successful first-person shooters of all time. It was an overnight sensation and quickly spread into many living rooms. PC Gamer would go on to proclaim that Doom was one of the most influential video games of all time. Released in 1993, Isle of the Dead is a point-and-click first-person shooter for the DOS. The player takes control of Jake Dunbar, a sole survivor of a plane crash who is now stuck on a mysterious island. The player must survive hordes of zombies created by a mad scientist, escape the island, and save a damsel in distress. Along the way, NPCs can be interacted with to acquire weapons and items. Isle of the Dead was met with many negative reviews, and most consider it one of the worst first-person shooters. Finally, we have Lethal Tender, released in 1993 for the DOS. When a mega-terrorist plans to circulate money that is coated in a substance, and once this substance is fully degraded, the bills will explode into a fiery mess, resulting in mass casualties across the nation. So who's gonna stop that? Well, the player controls bad boy Nick Hunter, who must storm the terrorist fort and mow down swarms of identical, nameless guards before taking down the mastermind. So there you have it, 10 of the earliest first-person shooters that helped shape the industry into what it is today. Which ones have you played before, and which ones do you want to play now that you've heard of them? Let me know in the comments below, or let me know of other first-person shooters that you believe should be on this list. And while you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to watch more gaming countdowns. Thanks for watching.